Evidence. Audit is all about evidence, and we term it the working paper. Those information that we gathered in the course of our being on the field, especially for those of us that do not have the practical field experience as auditors, but we are offering auditing and assurance as a course. This information and knowledge is for you. So I'm going to go through some basic information that we should have on the field as auditors. These are what we call audit working papers. It is important for me to equally let us know that I'm not dealing with content of audit working paper. That is, I'm talking about the paper, that spreadsheet, that standard document. I'm not talking about that standard document. I'm talking about evidence here. Please let us know. So, what are some of those evidence that we should have from the field as auditors? This is a practical experience that we may need to have, especially when we are relating with case study on audit. We need to ensure we obtain documents that relate to our clients' legal aspect of things and organizational structure. Please, please, please don't forget, it is very important evidence on the field that we know our clients very well. They will say know your customer, like in the financial institution sector, KYC. The same goes and is applicable to auditing too. We need to know the legality of our clients' business and also the organizational structure. That organizational structure now could be obtained from HR and the like. Also, we need to extract or have copies of important legal documents, agreements, minutes of the meeting, minutes of the board meeting, minutes of management meeting, and in CSME, that's strategic management and ethics. There are levels of meetings. In a nutshell, we have to collect all minutes of meeting, whether our client is using the unitary board or they are using multilateral. We need to collect minutes of meeting in the organization in the year under review. Then we need to obtain the evidence of planning. Evidence of planning in form of budgets, in form of tactical plan, strategic plan, operational plan. We need to have them all and document them as part of our working paper. We need equally to ensure that audit programs, our audit programs too, are tailored towards getting these documents done, obtained, and working on them for verification and the like. And actually, for better clarification, I'd made mention of two things in one. I'd made mention of the planning process, which could be our planning process for their audit, and equally the organization's planning process. So we need to have these documents, and equally I'd made mention of our audit program. Our audit program must be tailored towards getting everything that we need to do done, so that we will not major on minor or minor on major. It is of equal importance that we provide evidence that we understand the uniqueness of our client's business. Important that we, in our documentation, that there is evidence of our understanding of how our client's business is being run. It is very important to obtain documents as regards know your customer. We need to know them very well. And equally, their internal control systems, their accounting systems, their accounting manner, statements of operations, which we call SOP, we need to have them in our document or as evidence. We need to put them in the file. Also, we need to have knowledge of their inherent risk and how they are managing the risk assessment and revision thereof if there were any. We need to ensure we have documents that shows we have the knowledge of how they are actually working on their risk, how they are managing the risk factor, maybe systemic risk in the industry they are, or the unsystemic risk that belongs to individual organization that they need to own. We need to know how they are managing all this and have evidence of it in our audit file, which we call working paper. We need equally to have understanding of their internal audits and obtain reports from the internal auditors. Thus, if we have a client or clients that have all these processes in place, but if not, it will not be part of our audit working paper. What we may just mention is when we are reporting weaknesses in their businesses to them, we could recommend to them that they should have internal audit departments put in place. Okay, another working paper that we should have is their transaction balance or balances, account analysis, transactions during the year, aging of the account balances, especially the payables, the receivables, and what have you. We need to have them documented. So it simply suggests that we must have their trial balance. Their trial balance is part of what we must obtain and put in our file. Also, significant ratios, trend analysis of what is going on in their industry. We need to ensure we analyze them even after we've done with the field work and we are reviewing. We too must review their ratio analysis and the trend analysis. We need to have a record of the nature, the timing, and the extent of the auditing procedure that we undertake and the result of such procedures that we had undertaken. It is very important so that by the time we are expressing our opinion, we have all this as the bedrock for forming our audit opinion. I want to believe we know and understand that that opinion actually was the reason we were actually engaged in the first place. Please don't forget, auditors are to express an independent, unbiased opinion. Another working paper or evidence that we need to have in the practical sense of things is the detail of procedures regarding the companies and the financial statements that are being audited by the auditor. So this may be in form of their statement of operations, like I said before, which we call SOP. We have to obtain it, not that we may need. We have to have it in our file Also, we need to have copies of communications with our clients. Also, if there are for any reason there are experts used, whether in form of management experts or auditors experts and other third parties that are involved in the audit process, we need to have evidence of our communication with them. Who are experts and who is management experts and who is auditors experts? These are actually videos that we've made. So I want you to put it in the comments to show that you've been following us for a while. But if you can't put it in the comments, then you need to look out for the video. Just look out for those videos in the advanced audit playlist or in the playlist for the skill audit. So you will find all these there so that we can be on the same page without wasting our precious time. Okay, having said that, we need to have copies of our correspondence with the entity, reports we've made to the management, and the notes for our discussions and meetings we've had or we are having with the management. It is important to have all this so that, like we used to say, there will not be one in one way. Have it documented and put it in your file and let everyone that needs to sign it sign it. Also, we need to have copies of approved financial statements and the auditor's reports. That is, we need to have a copy at the end of the day, the copies of our audited accounts that we are giving them. Many times auditors forget this because they made it, but at the end of the day they do not have the copy. You need to have the signed copy that we gave to the clients, even in the file in our audit firm. For those of us that have worked or are working in audit firm, we will understand better, but I want everyone that did not even have the opportunity to equally understand. Everything, every aspect of audit, especially the financial aspects, usually we summarize them. So also we need to have evidence of the summary of significant aspects of our audit that we've executed. We need to include the details of information that are available. We need to include the amounts involved, and that is why it is essential that even the fee of auditor is disclosed as a line item on the audited financial statement. We need to include the management view because sometimes it could differ from the auditor's view. We need to include it that this is our view, this is management view as regards this aspect of your business. It is very important. Equally, we need to include the conclusions reached. We need to include the conclusions reached and how these matters that we've raised are resolved. It is very important for us to have all this as our working paper. So when we are talking about working paper, we are talking about auditor's evidence that supports and back up why we made the opinion that we are making or we've made. This is Gbenga Olatunji, FCA from G. James Associate, for those of us that are just joined or just joining now. And what you need to do is to like this video and subscribe so that you will not miss any other upload. and also share and comment if there are any aspects of accountancy that you want us to deal with and finance. Talk to us. Let's hear feedback from you. As I recap, audit working paper, we have those that are current files. We have those that are having permanence nature. We call them permanent. We put them in permanent file. So we have current year working paper or current year file, and we have standard or those one of permanent file. So what we've discussed now, they are evidence and working papers that could either belong in permanent file or current year file. Basically, the objective of this video is to introduce us to some of the evidence that we should ordinarily obtain. That is the purpose of this video. Of course, the two types of working paper or auditor's files have been mentioned: the permanent file and the current year file. If you want us to talk anew and afresh about it, because we have videos on all those files already, you can put it in the comments. If we have a good number of us, then we can look it up again and revisit it. If not, we will move on, because there are so many things to be done. There are so many subjects, courses that we need to still cover. From DJ's Associate channel, we are Value to Life. Follow us on all social media platforms. We are Value to Your Businesses.